Whether it's in the early stages of your business life, or in order to grow your business beyond simply what you can generate from cash flow, at some point you're probably going to need to raise capital to better fund your business. However, there are more mistakes made in the funding process than almost any other aspect of small business. And few entrepreneurs approach this very critical undertaking with the kind of planning, precision, and discipline it requires. Guesses, wishes, and dreams won't make it happen, but they often drive the capital raising process. As a first step to their funding, most entrepreneurs develop a business plan that contains tons of research about the market and usually some well thought out strategies and tactics. And then it starts to go south. Most often, the financials, represented by a 30 or 40-page Excel spreadsheet model often developed by a third party, have that magic hockey stick growth, seemingly so necessary in every plan and rarely defendable. Worse, though, is the most critical number and the very reason for the plan. The amount of capital being sought is vaguely described, with typically a paragraph or section with words to the effect, "We're looking to raise between X and Y dollars to do A, B, and C." No timing, not much detail. Investors invest in the people, not just the business. How comfortable is an investor going to be counting on you to use his or her investment wisely? But you can't even determine with any precision how much you need, by when, and for what. Funding your business is not like writing a letter to Santa, promising you've been a good little boy or girl and wishing and hoping that he will not only give you what you ask for, but a few extra goodies he had sitting around his toy shop. Funding doesn't work that way. It requires disciplined work and, more important, a real understanding of both the process and the numbers. So here are some guidelines to take the guesswork and wishing out of capital raising and keep you out of trouble. Know what you need, why, and when. Have a financial plan that's tied to rational strategies, tactics, and milestones, and run it by your closest advisors. Determine the specific amount you need for what specific purposes and by when to fund that plan. To do this, you really need to understand your own numbers and where you'll have cash flow shortfalls and why in order to make your plan work. Be precise. No abouts, no ranges. If you want to build in contingencies, do that, but it still comes down to a number. Don't spend it before you have it. Interest doesn't mean investment. Most investors are professionally courteous and will show interest when you pitch them. Real interest comes after. Still, many entrepreneurs misread a couple of good meetings and begin acting as if the money is already committed, calling off other investor meetings and planning for spending the capital. Success is not gauged by how many meetings you have with an investor group, but by the depth of their questions and due diligence. At the end of the day, the real measure of how interested they are will only appear in your bank account, or not. It's not over until that occurs. Next, investors will be your partners for a long time. Choose wisely. It's a given that an investor has to bring more than money, whether that be contacts, industry expertise, etc. However, if the chemistry between you, the entrepreneur, and the investor group is not good at the outset, for example, you find them off-putting or even obnoxious, it won't get better. And if they do invest, you will be partners for the life of your business, or as long as either side is involved in it. It's like a marriage. If you don't like the warts early in a relationship, they ain't gonna get better with time. So sometimes the money isn't worth it. Don't do it alone. Engage advisors who have had experience in multiple capital raising projects and can advise you in every aspect of the funding process, including plan development. You'll have to compensate them for their time, but they'll be most worth it. Be careful of finders who will promise you they have a boatload of contacts and attempt to take a percentage of any successful funding they introduce, but do nothing else. You will only do this a limited number of times. You need somebody in your corner who does it for a living and can manage the entire process from plan development through actual funding. You can't fund your business with guesses, wishes, and dreams. You need a plan, and you need to understand the landscape you'll be approaching and how to best approach it. And that takes some precision and a lot of discipline. The entrepreneur's Yoda knows these things. He's been there. May success be with you.